Got a big C# interview coming up? Well, you are in the right place. We're going to break down one of the most common questions you'll get. So, what is encapsulation? By the end of this, you're going to have an answer so good, they'll be impressed before you even finish your sentence.
Okay, picture this. You're in the interview room. You're feeling good, and then it comes. That classic question. But don't sweat it. This isn't a trick question. It's a chance to show you really know your stuff. So let's make sure you're ready to nail it.
All right, let's start at the very beginning. What in the world are we even talking about? We're going to kick things off with a simple definition that's super easy to remember. At its heart, encapsulation is all about bundling. That's the T word. You're taking your data, your variables and fields, and the methods that do stuff with that data, and you're wrapping them all up together in a neat little package. And in the C# world, that package is called a class.
A great way to think about this is like a capsule. Seriously, the important stuff is sealed inside, safe from the outside world. Encapsulation works the exact same way for your code. It creates this protective barrier to keep the insides of an object safe and sound.
And that's the whole point, right? It's all about control. You don't want just any part of your code to reach in and start messing with your data whenever it feels like it. Come on, that's just asking for bugs and total chaos. Encapsulation makes sure that your data is only changed in ways you've specifically allowed.
Okay, theory is one thing, but seeing it in action, that's what really makes it stick. So let's jump into some actual code and see how this all works in practice. So, how does this whole protective capsule thing actually work in the code? Well, the magic behind it is something called access modifiers. They're just simple keywords you use to set the rules. They decide who gets to see your data and who gets to change it. Now, for encapsulation, there are two main players you gotta know: private and public. Think of it this way. Private stuff, that's your secret stash. It's hidden, protected, only the class itself can touch it. Public methods, though, they're like the friendly bouncers at the door. They provide a controlled, safe gateway for the outside world to interact with that secret data. And boom, here is the perfect example, the classic bank account class. Just take a look at this for a second. See those private and public keywords we were just talking about? Yep, that is encapsulation right there in its purest form.
Let's break this down. The balance is marked as private. This is the critical piece of data we need to protect. You can't just write some code somewhere else that says, hey, balance is now $1 million. Nope, it won't even compile. Instead, you have to go through the public gateways. You use the deposit method to add money, and you use the getBalance method to check it. Everything is controlled and predictable.
Okay, so we get the what and the how. But so what? Why do developers and interviewers care so much about this? Let's talk about why this actually matters in the real world. The benefits are, well, they're huge. It obviously improves security by protecting your data from unwanted changes. It makes your code way easier to read because related stuff is all in one place. But honestly, the real game changer here is maintenance. It makes your code so much easier to update down the line. And this right here is the ultimate payoff. When your code is properly encapsulated, you can go into a class and completely change how it works on the inside, and as long as you don't mess with the public methods, nothing else in your giant application breaks. This is absolutely critical for building big, stable software. All right, quick but important detour. A common follow-up question is about the difference between encapsulation and abstraction. People mix them up all the time. So here's the simplest way to remember it. Encapsulation hides data to protect it. Think of a bank vault. Abstraction hides complexity to make things easier to use. Think of the on button on your TV. You don't need to know how it works, you just need to know it turns the TV on. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've gone over the what, the how, and the why. Now let's assemble all those pieces into the perfect, confident answer for that interview. Here is your simple three-step formula for success. First, you define it. It's about bundling data and methods together and controlling access. Second, you give a real example, like our bank account class, mentioning private data and public methods. And third, you seal the deal by explaining the benefits, how it leads to safer, more stable, and easier to maintain code. That's it. You've just aced the question. And there you have it. But, beyond just passing an interview, the real question is for you. Understanding a principle like this doesn't just get you a job, it makes you a fundamentally better developer. So think about it. How will you use encapsulation to build better, more robust software from now on?